Hello guys and welcome to Vlogging Project. Last year on the Mobile World Congress, Alcatel stole the show with the A5 LED, a budget, modular smartphone similar to the Moto Z series but just for a fraction of the price. Now it's 2018, the phone costs just about £100 and the question here is Alcatel trying to rip you off for a mediocre Chinese phone, or you actually have some benefits out of these mods over here? So let's find out. Okay guys, so before we do the unboxing, let's quickly have a look at the back of this rather beautiful box which shows off the LED capabilities of this particular back cover. This is a 4G phone, which means users in the UK and in Europe will be happy because the phone supports band 20, so kudos for Alcatel for implementing band 20, but at the end of the day it's supposed to be a French company, so it is to be expected. We have a 5.2-inch 720p LCD screen. We've got an octa-core MTK processor clocked at the rather low 1.3 GHz, 8 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera. The battery is 2800 mAh. The Android version is 6.0. I got already one update, but it was like a security update, so forget about NuGet, forget about Oreo, no updates for this phone whatsoever. And now memory wise, I've got the version with, of course this one supports memory card slot, but the built-in memory is 16 GB with 2 GB of RAM. Now let me tell you straight away that there's another version with 32 gigs of ROM plus 3 GB of RAM, and if you have the chance, go for the other one, because 16 GB nowadays, I've got already 13.5 GB occupied and I've got almost nothing on my phone, and 2 GB of RAM, as soon as you open a couple of applications, the phone really struggles to cope with the performance, guys. So let's check what do we have in the box over here. There's the mod, which I'm going to unbox in just a second. Now, nice little Alcatel box over here. I'm just gonna start throwing things randomly like that. Now let's see what do we have inside. Let's see what do we have. Now we have a crappy Chinese headphones inside. Check this out, guys. It's been a while I have seen this kind of plastic headphones. I will never ever use them, but at least it's nice to see that, you know, for such a cheap phone, at least you got headphones inside the box. We've got the UK charger over here and a cable. As you can see, I haven't really bothered to unbox them because of one thing. I'm always, you know, when I have a cheap phone, I'm always trying to charge it with the quick charger I've got, which I'm charging all of my phones with. And let me show you what kind of results am I getting out of the charging abilities straight away. So with a separate quick charger, in 30 minutes I managed to top up 26%, 1 hour gave me 51%, and the total recharge time was 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is about right considering that that's a cheap phone after all, so you shouldn't expect, you know, crazy fast charging times. But I had other phones which hit like 3 hours of, you know, recharge times, so I'm definitely happy with the recharge times of this 2800 mAh of battery inside this phone. So let's quickly have a look at those back covers, guys. That's the default back cover which the phone ships with. Now I know that in India the package is a little bit different. You've got the battery mode, but over here in the UK we haven't got the battery mode, we haven't got the sound mode, which is similar to the JBL mode for the Motorola, and the only option we've got over here is the LED mode. Now that's the standard back cover, but the special thing about it is that it has an NFC receiver over here. So you just plug it in like that and you've got yourself an NFC. Now, not many £100 phones have actually NFC, so I'm happy that at least I've got this option in just changing the back cover. And basically the overall design of the phone is actually kind of outdated, but in the same time is very nice in the hand and is very comfortable, guys. Now what do we have? The back camera over here, dual tone flash, and pretty much nothing else. At the top we've got a 3.5mm jack and a secondary microphone. At the bottom we've got one speaker, one microphone, and micro SD charging port. At the front of the phone we've got this front-facing flash, which is still a thing. Not many phones actually have that, so if you're big into the selfie game, this is gonna save you in a complete darkness. We've got a notification LED over here. I'm not sure why it's not lit at the moment, but it's here. We've got the 5 megapixel front camera and the speaker grill over here. Now moving on to the bottom of the phone, we've got this, you know, engraved, or I don't know how to say it, button, which is always there. and when you unlock the screen and when you start pressing those buttons, they're actually lit. Now unfortunately you can't really reorder the buttons unless you install a third-party application, but considering that this phone is supposed to be sold mainly in Europe, I could have wished that you have the option, you know, to swap those buttons or at least put the back button over here. And another problem with those buttons is that you can't really control their behavior, you can't control the backlight, you can't control the timing. Basically they're just there. As soon as you press them, they're lit for 10 seconds and they go down after that, and more often I forgot which button is where because I'm so used to having the back button over here, but that's a small gripe. Now one very interesting thing about the back of the phone, check this out guys. We've got a very sturdy metal build, by the way. This phone is not going to get anywhere if you try to bend it. Jerry, I dare you to try this phone. Now there's another version with 2 SIM cards which I recommend you of getting. Get the 2 SIM card version. I've got the single SIM card because here in the UK, who cares about us? And we've got the, you know, micro SD card slot over here. Now something which is very interesting about this phone, let me see if I can trigger the notifications. Over here, that's a notification LED. I'm really not sure why it's not lit at the moment, but just like 2 minutes ago when all of my notifications came, this small little thing was shining in bright green. And it's very interesting because on this back cover here, you really don't have a hole for this LED. And on this back cover over here, we've got a small sticker over here which you can remove. But apparently there is no hole for this notification LED. So maybe this notification LED is useful for some of the other mods, but not on the mods that I have. Now moving on to the LED back cover, check this out guys. There's some weird things going on here. I really not sure what all of these things do, but the main part, which is, you know, the part that you should be interested in, is this kind of magnetic thingy over here. You just slap the back cover like that, and there you go. You've got LED on the back of your phone. It adds just a little bit of a thickness on the phone, but overall the phone doesn't feel too bulky, and actually it feels very nice and sturdy in the hand guys. So let's check this out. What is this notification, or let's call it, you know, LED light show about? Now going to the light show application, we're gonna have a look at what color combinations do we have for the back cover guys. So there's the meteors effect. It's kind of nice. We've got fireworks, which is quite bright and shiny. We've got stars effect over here, which is kind of nice as well. We've got rain. I just like the way the Alcatel logo is lit over here. It's very nice of them to make it like that. We've got flames. Oh man, that's definitely my favorite one. Check this out. We've got city lights, which is quite nice as well. What else do we have? We've got waves. Okay. We've got highway. Check this out. There's the whole potential of this LED back cover, guys. It's really nice. We've got petards, whatever that means. I have no idea. I really have more room for improvement of my language skills. And we've got rhythm as our last one. So yeah, as you can see, they could be pretty fun. Basically, during my testing of the battery, which I'm gonna go in, let me show you what kind of battery life I'm getting on this phone, guys. With the notification LED always on. Basically, when you watch a video, when you receive notifications, you've got a light show at the back. That might be good for, you know, some children, which will be, you know, very attractive. But let me show you what kind of battery life that I'm getting out of this phone. Now check my screenshots, guys. I'm usually very heavy on the battery, and what can I say? My usage is mixed. Most of the time is Wi-Fi and 4G mixed up. So basically over here I can see that I've used Wi-Fi mostly 5 hours and 6 minutes with 5% left. Over here I've got 4 hours 21 minutes, I guess, with a little bit of a 4G over here. Now check this out. Over here I've got 1 hour 54 minutes, and I definitely knew that there's something wrong, and what was wrong was the weather application. Check the battery drain of the weather application. That's crazy, guys. So basically that's one of the things you gotta do first. Uninstall the weather application straight away on this phone. Check this out. The standby drain over here is immense. Again, it's not very good. So let's continue to the other statistics now. On 4G, 3% left. I've got 4 hours of screen on time. 4G again, 5 hours. 4G again, 4 hours 33 minutes with 8% left. And the final day, I believe I tested this one, guys. Wi-Fi, 5 hours and 2 minutes of screen on time. So basically, I'm overall happy with this battery life. If the battery can give me 4 solid hours on 4G and 5 hours of Wi-Fi, I am definitely happy with the battery life. Now, one other thing about the software of this phone, that's pretty much stock Android. Check this out, guys. You've got totally no options. Turbo download, that's an option which combines the 4G with Wi-Fi for speedier downloads. We've got gestures, which are 3 finger for screenshot. You do like that and you take a screenshot. Turn over to mute and turn over to activate snooze. That's nothing special really. And what else? What else? Display lock screen, notifications, blah blah blah. We've got absolutely nothing. Now on the lock screen we've got another option which is just a little bit different than most of the phones, guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We've got wall shuffle over here. Basically every time you lock and unlock your phone, you're getting a different wallpaper at the back. Let me just get rid of those notifications. Bloody hell. Okay, check this out. Now I'm not sure why it's not doing that. It's supposed to do that. Let me clear all the notifications. You're supposed to get a different wallpaper every time you switch on and off your screen. I'm really not sure why it's not doing that at the moment, but the thing is that the wallpapers were kind of ugly, so you're better off putting your own wallpaper over here. And the only other addition is the theme store. You can basically download some themes. There are some funky ones. They don't do much. They don't change the accent of the color or anything like that. They're just changing the basically lock screen, wallpaper and the icons of the phone. Not a huge deal, but I definitely like that this option is present over there, guys. So yeah, pretty much stock Android. As you can see, the phone is pretty much nice and fluid unless you open up a couple of applications, because 2 gigs of RAM 2017-2018 is just not enough, guys. But overall I can say that I'm happy with the performance. Let me show you some of my other screenshots when it comes down to benchmarks and stuff like that. Let me open up Basemark quickly and just show you what kind of results am I getting, guys. As you can see, pretty much average results, nothing special over here. On graphics we've got a little bit of a low score, but that shouldn't be a problem for yourself because we're dealing with just 720p screen, guys. Now when it comes down to gaming benchmarks, on the CASJA benchmark I'm getting 51,000, which is a relatively low score, but keep one thing in mind. This benchmark is made with Unity, which a lot of new games are made with. That's an engine, and basically I'm averaging of 25 FPS, which in real-time usage is more or less like 50 FPS on most supported games, guys. And let me show you, I should have somewhere Epic Citadel benchmark. I don't, so let me check Epic Citadel quickly. I've got no idea what happened with Epic Citadel, but that's the benchmark, which is, you know, one of my favorite ones. And actually if I get a decent results out of the Epic Citadel, I'm overall happy with the gaming performance of the phone. I've got Mortal Kombat installed, which is a rather heavy game. And let me tell you that with, you know, with light games you're having totally no problems with, but a little bit of a more intensive games like Mortal Kombat, you're getting just about okay performance. Is definitely playable, but not the best in the world. So let me check quickly all the settings on Epic Citadel. Okay, then I'm gonna run Epic Citadel quickly and I'm gonna tell you what kind of results am I gonna get with in a second, guys. Okay, the benchmark is finally ready, guys. Check this out. On ultra high quality I'm getting 44.7 FPS, which is definitely playable, not the highest in the world, but basically everything above 40 FPS is a pretty good result. So overall I could say that for £100 I'm overall very happy with the gaming performance of this phone, guys. Now let's talk about another thing, and which is the headphone jack over here. Plug a pair of headphones and what should you expect out of this headphone jack? And unfortunately the results are not very good, guys. pretty much you're getting average results on volume, on bass as well, and overall, I mean, it's not a very good experience. Now the problem here is that you're having a micro USB charging port, which means that you can't really use one of those USB Type-C to 3.5mm adapters to boost the headphone output. So basically it is what it is, you're stuck with what you have. Now when it comes down to speakers, guys, we've got only one mono speaker over here, and let's check the audio quality quickly. That's maximum volume. And basically, due to my testing, if you can clear my voice, clearly the audio output is just not enough, unfortunately, guys. In loud environments, you're gonna struggle to hear what's going on. So you've got only one solution to that problem, and that's volume booster by Good Def. Now, don't go crazy with it. You know, get a 20% boost and check what kind of results do we have after the boost. Check this out. I know you can't tell from the camera, but it makes a difference when you're out and about, and when you activate the boost, it gives you just as much so you can hear what's going on your favorite YouTube videos. Maybe when you're watching my videos, probably. But yeah, sound-wise, not very impressed, to be honest with you. Now about the screen itself, I can't say I'm disappointed, because at 5.2 inches you can definitely manage 720p. And check this out, guys. The phone offers plenty of colors actually. I really like the contrast and the overall qualities of the screen. Maximum brightness is just at like 30%, you can go all the way up, and the phone really shines now. Check this out, how much brighter it is. I know you can't tell from the camera, but you're gonna have no struggle in daylight with this phone. The only thing is that the IPS glow is quite severe, so basically the blacks are not that black, unfortunately, especially on, you know, complete darkness when you play a game or something like that. But that's expected, you know, especially on this price range of about £100. And now the last thing I'm going to talk about briefly is the 8 megapixel camera at the back interpolated to 13, and the front facing 5 megapixel camera interpolated to 8 megapixels. Now in this particular case, I'm not very happy with the camera quality of both of those cameras, but I'm gonna leave it to my full camera review, which should be done in a few days. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to Vlokin Project. Okay guys, so where does it leave us with the Alcatel A5 LED? Now, the LED back cover is definitely a party trick, but apart from that, I really don't think you should be buying this phone, guys. Because if you live somewhere in India or in other regions where you have the other modes available, like the sound mode, like the battery mode, yes, this phone makes a better investment and it gives you better value for your money. But here in the UK, you're a little bit limited, as always, so I can't really recommend buying this phone for £100, guys. Now instead you can go for the Ulefone phones, the Ulefone Mix or the Ulefone Mix 2. They're both looking better and they both got more functions out of them. And the thing is that with the Alcatel is missing one major component, which is the fingerprint reader, guys. Now I recently issued the review of the Kodak Ektra, and one of my main gripes was the fingerprint reader, because 2017 phone shouldn't lack a fingerprint reader, especially at that thickness. Alcatel, you don't have an excuse of including a fingerprint reader on this phone. So yeah, I don't know what else can I say about this phone, guys. Maybe for a kid's phone, for a present, something like that is gonna get the job done. But if you're thinking about your main phone, I think that you should look elsewhere. But anyway, I'm gonna be releasing my full camera review in the next few days, because that's my, you know, new thing which I'm quite interested of doing. No matter if you're gonna watch it or not, I'm gonna release the review of the cameras anyway. So hit the thumbs up button because it helps the channel discovery a lot, and of course subscribe to Vlokin Project, and see you in the next one. Adios.